Artimes Fowl, Chapter 9. Ace in the Hole. Artemis tried the doorknob and got a scorched palm for his trouble. Sealed. The fairy must have blasted it with her weapon. Very astute. One less variable in the equation. It was exactly what he himself would have done. Artemis did not waste any time attempting to force open the door. It was reinforced still, and he was 12. You didn't have to be a genius to figure it out, even though he was. Instead, the foul heir apparent crossed to the monitor wall and followed developments from there. He knew immediately what the LEP were up to. Send in the troll to secure a cry for help. Interpret it as an invitation, and next thing you know, a brigade of goblin stormtroopers were taking the manor. Clever. And unanticipated. It was the second time he'd underestimated his opponents. One way or another, there wouldn't be a third. As the drama below unfolded on the monitors, Artemis's emotions jumped from terror to pride. Butler had done it, defeated the troll, and without a single plea for aid passing his lips. Watching the display, Artemis appreciated fully, perhaps for the first time, the service provided by the Butler family. Artemis activated the tri-band radio, broadcasting on revolving frequencies. Commander Root, you are monitoring all channels, I presume? For a few moments, nothing but white noise emanated from the micro speakers. Then Artemis heard the sharp click of a mic button. I hear you, human. What can I do for you? Is that the commander? A noise filtered through the black gauze. It sounded like a whinny. No, this is not the commander. This is Foley, the centaur. Is that the kidnapping lowlife human? It took Artemis a moment to process the fact that he'd been insulted. Mr. Foley, you have obviously not studied your psych texts. It was not wise to antagonize the hostage taker. I may be unstable. May be unstable? There's no may about it. Not that it matters. Soon you'll be no more than a cloud of radioactive molecules. Artemis chuckled. That's where you are mistaken. My quadruped friend, by the time that biobomb is detonated, I will be long gone from this time stop. It was Foley's turn to chuckle. You're bluffing, human. If there was a way to escape the field, I would have found it. I think you're talking through your... Thankfully, it was at that moment Root took over on the microphone. Fowl? This is Commander Root. What do you want? I would just like to inform you, Commander, that in spite of your attempted betrayal, I am still willing to negotiate. That troll had nothing to do with me, protested Root. It was done against my wishes. The fact is that it was done, and by the LEP, whatever trust we had is gone. So here's my ultimatum. You have 30 minutes to send in the gold, or else I will refuse to release Captain Short. Furthermore, I will not take her with me when I leave the time field, leaving her to be disintegrated by the biobomb. Don't be a fool, human. You're deluding yourself. Mud technology is aeons behind ours. There is no way to escape that time field. Artemis leaned in close to the mic, smiling his wolfish smile. There is only one way to find out, Root. Are you willing to bet Captain Short's life on your hunch? Root's hesitation was highlighted by the hiss of interference. His reply, when it came, was tinged with just the right note of defeat. No, he sighed, I am not. You'll have your gold, Fowl, a ton, 24 carat. Artemis smirked. Quite the actor, our Commander Root. 30 minutes, Commander. Count the seconds if your clock stopped. I am waiting, but not for long. Artemis terminated the contact, settling back in the swivel chair. It would seem as though the bait had been taken. No doubt the LEP analysts had discovered his accidental invitation. The fairies would pay up because they believed the gold would be theirs again as soon as he was dead, vaporized by the biobomb, which of course he wouldn't be, in theory. Butler put 3 rounds into the door frame. The door itself was steel and would have sent the devastator slugs ricocheting straight back at him, but the frame was the original porous stone used to build the manor. It crumbled like chalk. A very basic security flaw, and one that would have to be remedied once this business was over. Master Artemis was waiting calmly in his chair by the monitor bank. Nice work, Butler. Thank you, Artemis. We were in trouble for a moment there. If it hadn't been for the captain. Artemis nodded. Yes, I saw. Healing, one of the fairy arts. I wonder why she did it. I wonder too, said Butler softly. We certainly didn't deserve it. Artemis glanced up sharply. Keep the faith, old friend. The end is in sight. Butler nodded. He even attempted a smile, but even though there were plenty of teeth in the grin, there was no heart. In less than an hour, Captain Short will be back with her people, and we will have sufficient funds to relaunch some of our more tasteful enterprises. I know, it's just... Artemis didn't have to ask. He knew exactly what Butler was feeling. The fairy had saved both their lives, and yet he insisted on holding her to ransom. To a man of honor like Butler, this was almost more than he could bear. The negotiations are over. One way or another, she will be returned to her kind. No harm will befall Captain Short. You have my word. And Juliet? Yes. Is there any danger to my sister? No, no danger. The fairies are just going to give us this gold and walk away? Artemis snorted gently. No, not exactly. They're going to bio-bomb Fowl Manor the second Captain Short is clear. Butler took a breath to speak, but hesitated. Obviously, there was more to the plan. Master Fowl would tell him when he needed to know, so instead of quizzing his employer, he made a simple statement. I trust you, Artemis. Yes, replied the boy, the weight of that trust etched on his brow. I know. Cudgeon was doing what politicians did best, trying to duck responsibility. Your officer helped the humans, he blurted, mustering as much indignation as possible. The entire operation was proceeding exactly as planned until your female attacked our deputy. Deputy? Chortled Foley. Now the troll's a deputy? Yes, he is, and that human made mincemeat of him. This entire situation could be wrapped up if it wasn't for your department's incompetence. Ordinarily, Root would have blown his top at this point, but he knew that Cudgeon was grasping at straws, desperately trying to save his career, so the commander just smiled. Hey, Foley. Yes, Commander. Did we get the troll assault on disc? The centaur heaved a dramatic sigh. No, sir, we ran out of discs just before the troll went in. What a pity. A real shame. Those discs could have been invaluable to Acting Commander Cudgeon at his hearing. Cudgeon's cool went out the window. Give me those discs, Julius. I know they're in there. This is blatant obstruction. You are the only one guilty of obstruction around here, Cudgeon, using this affair to further your own career. Cudgeon's face took on a hue to match Root's own. The situation was slipping away from him, and he knew it. Even Chicks Verbill and the other sprites were sidling out from behind their leader. I am still in charge here, Julius, so hand over those discs or I will have you detained. Oh, really? You and whose army? For a second, Cudgeon's face glowed with the old pomposity. It evaporated the moment he noticed the conspicuous lack of officers at his shoulders. That's right, snickered Foley. You ain't acting commander anymore. The call came through from below. You've got an appointment with the council, and I don't think it's to offer you a seat. It was probably Foley's grin that drove Cudgeon over the edge. Give me those discs, he roared, pining Foley to the operation shuttle. Root was tempted to let them wrestle for a while, but now wasn't the time to indulge himself. Naughty, naughty, he said, pointing his index finger at Cudgeon. No one beats Foley but me. Foley paled. Careful with that finger. You're still wearing the... Root's thumb accidentally brushed his knuckle, opening a tiny gas valve. The released gas propelled a tranquilized dart through the latex fingertip and straight into Cudgeon's neck. The acting commander, soon to be private, sank like a stone. Foley rubbed his neck. Nice shot, Commander. I don't know what you're talking about. Total accident. I forgot all about the fake finger. There are several precedents, I believe. Oh, absolutely. Unfortunately, Cudgeon will be unconscious for several hours. By the time he awakens, all the excitement will be over. Shame. Root allowed himself a fleeting grin. Then it was back to business. Is the gold here? Yep, they just inserted it. Good. He called the Cudgeon's sheepish troops. Get it loaded onto a hover trolley and send it in. Any trouble, and I'll feed you your wings. Understood? No one actually replied, but it was understood, no doubt about it. Good. Now hop to it. Root disappeared into the operation shuttle, Foley clopping behind him and the commander shutting the door firmly. Is it armed? The centaur flicked a few important-looking switches on the main console. It is now. I want it launched as soon as possible. He glanced through the laser-proof refractor glass. We're down to minutes here. I see sunlight poking through. Foley bent to his keyboard in earnest. The magic is breaking up. In 15 minutes, we're going to be in the middle of overground daytime. The neutrino streams are losing their integrity. I see, said Root, who was basically a lie again. Okay, I don't see, but I do get the 15-minute bit. That gives you 10 minutes to get Captain Short out of there. After that, we're going to be sitting ducks for the entire human race. Foley activated yet another camera. This one was linked to the hover trolley. He ran a finger experimentally across a trackpad. The trolley shifted forward, almost decapitating Chick's verbal. Nice driving, muttered Root. Will it get up the steps? Foley didn't even look up from his computers. Automatic clearance compensator, a 5-foot collar, no problems. Root speared him with a glare. You do that just to annoy me, don't you? Foley shrugged his shoulders. I might. Yes, well, count yourself lucky my other fingers aren't loaded. Get my meaning? Yes, sir. Good, now let's bring Captain Short home.